All right, beautiful. Thank you for joining me for a 60-minute restorative yoga class. This class is all about using gentle floor-based yoga postures to feel a little bit more relaxed. Some yoga styles are about strengthening the body or stretching or working on balance. Restorative yoga is more about the emotional, mental, spiritual benefits of a yoga practice, right? Just giving ourselves some time for ourselves just to relax and breathe. You don't need any fancy yoga props for this class. You do want a yoga mat or a carpeted area, and a couple of household pillows of different sizes. So I have some different pillows from like my couch, and you're welcome to grab those. Okay, hey sweetie. We're gonna start in a comfortable seated position. You can sit crisscross applesauce or in Sukhasana easy pose with one foot in front of the other. You can take a moment and rock back and forth, side to side, starting to sit up tall. Maybe roll your shoulders forward a few times, backward a few times. Good, and then just relax your shoulders, lift your chest slightly, relax your face, and take a nice slow breath in through your nose and out through your nose. If you'd like, you can close your eyes or do a soft fuzzy gaze just beyond the tip of your nose. You can place one hand over your heart space and one hand over your abdomen. Just once again, breathing in through the nose, feel your body rise. And breathe out through the nose, feel your body fall. Just starting to come into a little bit more awareness of our body moving with our breath. Inhale, feel your chest rise and ribs gently expand. Slowly exhale, feel your shoulders fall as your ribs gently contract. Notice if you're leaning forward or backward, sit up nice and tall. As you inhale through your nose, observe the temperature of air coming into your nostrils. And as you exhale, notice the temperature of air coming out of your nostrils, maybe a little bit warmer, a reminder that we are 90-something degrees and very much alive. Inhale. And slowly exhale. If you'd like to set an intention for your class today, you're welcome to do so. Sometimes I like to think about what I would like restored in my life. It can be, a sense of peace or joy or creativity or relaxation. And let everything you practice in this class, let your body movements be in service to that which you would like restored. So again, we're not necessarily going to push our body to the nth degree in this class. We're just going to use gentle asana postures and pranayama breathing to relax and feel a little bit more restored after class. Breathing in and slowly breathing out. If your hands are on your heart and your abdomen, you can return your hands down towards your knees. Again, rolling your shoulders forward a few times and backward a few times. Drop the shoulders, lift the chest. If your eyes are closed, you can open your eyes, looking straight ahead. Good. And we're going to make our way into our first restorative yoga posture of the day, which is a very supported version of child's pose. I'll talk you through it, walk you through it, show and tell. So often when we think of child's pose, we think about, no props, just coming down onto our knees, sinking the hips back and reaching the arms forward. In restorative yoga, we're going to use props so that we can relax a little bit more into the posture. So first off, if you have tight toes, knees, or ankles, you're welcome to roll up your yoga mat so there's extra padding under those joints. You can also place a thin blanket or pillow under the knees or the ankles. From here, I invite you to place some sort of pillow or blanket in between your calves and your thighs. And this can be particularly helpful for those of us where our hips are off of the heels in general in a child's pose. You can also place pillows underneath your chest or your head. The other fun thing about restorative yoga is you can kind of play around with your props, right? It can take a minute to find a good shape, and then you're just going to fold forward. A couple options here. You can have your arms long, you can have your head down or chin slightly forward. You can maybe look to one side, and I'll tell you when we're halfway through, and you can look to the other side. You can also bend your arms or have your arms down by your side, palms facing up. Throughout class, I will offer some mantras or phrases that you can repeat to yourself in every posture. So in this first posture, or child's pose, you can silently repeat to yourself, I bring a childlike wonder to my yoga practice. I bring a childlike wonder to my yoga practice. I bring a childlike wonder to my yoga practice. We'll hold here for 5 minutes. We're already a minute into the posture. Sometimes yin yoga and restorative yoga can seem very similar because we hold floor-based postures for long periods of time in both. But in yin yoga, right, we really are, the purpose is to like work deep into connective tissue, muscles, and joints. In restorative yoga, again, the idea is to use the yoga asanas, to use the breath, to use mantras or phrases or breathing to relax a little bit deeper. So if at any point you get uncomfortable, you are welcome to take a break. You're welcome to take a different shape or maybe add or remove a prop as you see fit so that you can relax a little bit deeper. Again, this yoga is not about getting the deepest stretch of all time. It's about giving yourself some time just to relax and breathe. Restorative yoga is sometimes affectionately referred to as napping yoga because we just really relax into every posture. And sometimes you might even fall asleep. And if you fall asleep at any point in class, that is more than welcome. Sometimes what our body really needs is a nice little snooze, and yoga is a good place to do that. We're about halfway through the posture. If you need to add or remove a prop or make a different shape, you're welcome to. If you're looking to one side, you can look to the other side. And then just observe where you might still be holding on to some tension in the body and see if you can just relax a little bit deeper. Take an inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose. Gently lift your head looking forward. Slowly, leisurely walk your hands in underneath your shoulders and almost sloth-like start to press yourself up. There's no rush. Sometimes coming out of the posture, especially that hip opener, can be a little intense. Can take any sort of counter stretch that feels good to your body. Return or remove the pillows that you were using in child's pose. And we're going to lie on our back for our first Savasana of the day. Okay. So as you lie on your back, you're welcome to have your legs and arms long. You can also bend your knees with your feet on the floor about hip width distance and let your knees rest together. That'll often take pressure off of the lower back. If you'd ever like to put a small pillow or blanket under your head, your lower back, or your knees, you're welcome to as well. In child's pose, we stretched out through the toes, the ankles, the knees, the hips, the spine, the shoulders. Now we just lie neutral on the floor. I often in yoga take for granted the power of lying on a floor. Like, were it not for yoga, I don't think I would find myself on the floor very often. But in yoga, right, we have this beautiful opportunity to connect with the ground beneath us and to really let the floor hold us up. And, a hard floor, a flat floor is maybe not something that you would want to sleep on, although some people swear by it. But it's a really good way to stretch out and realign the back. So just allow your back to kind of soften and reset as you let the floor hold you up. Next, we're going to do a very simple, very relaxing posture where we just have slightly elevated feet. So if you'd like, you can roll off to one side, press yourself up. You're going to pick as many pillows or blankets as you like to put underneath your knees and your legs so that your legs are a little bit more elevated than your heart. You practiced wall yoga with me. This is like a propped version of legs up the wall pose, right? We're just elevating our feet a bit. Again, you can make your feet as high or as low as you'd like. And then you're just going to lie back down on your back. You're also welcome to have a little pillow under your head if that feels good. And throughout class, if a blanket over your body would also feel nice, you're welcome to. I know many of us come from the 26-2 lineage of yoga, which is frankly very austere. And it's like, maybe you have this strap, but for the most part, it's just a yoga mat. And so I know sometimes for me, I'm like, a pillow under my head, that sounds luxurious. But this is a beautiful opportunity just to be really luxurious and loving towards yourself and giving towards yourself, whether that means an extra pillow under your head or a blanket over your body, right? The idea here is our legs are just a little bit more elevated than our heart. It can be very calming, soothing to the central nervous system. Keeping the feet upright is good, helping to bring blood into the heart, into the hips. Having elevated legs in particular is a great way to lower blood pressure and lower stress. So if you're ever a little bit stressed out, outside of the yoga practice, kicking your feet up the wall or elevating your feet for a while like we're doing here is a great way just to lower the blood pressure, kind of return to a more calm space. We'll hold here for 3 more minutes. If you'd like a mantra to repeat to yourself during this time, and silently say to yourself, I am safe in my body. I am safe in my body. I am safe in my body. Might notice perhaps relief at that phrase, or maybe even some resistance, right? Some of us, it is really difficult to feel safe for a variety of very valid reasons. And yoga offers us a space where we can just feel safe, at least in this breath. We're starting to gain a little bit more trust for our bodies and what our bodies need. So remember, if at any time you need to take a break from a posture, or you need to add or remove a prop or change your shape, that's a really beautiful way to live into this idea that you are very safe in your body right now and you are in control. Take a slow breath in, feel your chest rise. Slow breath out, let your body fall. To come out of this posture, you are welcome to kind of elbow your way up and push the pillows out of the way, or you can simply lift your feet up towards the ceiling, kind of unceremoniously kick your pillows aside, and then return your arms and legs down back into your Savasana. You can keep a blanket over your body or a pillow under your head if that feels good. And as we return the feet back to the floor, right, we get a nice rush of blood back into the lower body. Bend your knees if they're not already. And slowly roll off to one side. There's no rush. At your own pace, you can press yourself up into a seated position. Next, we're going to do a side body stretch, a shoulder opener that halfway through we will optionally take into a spine twist. So you're going to sit facing forward with either one large pillow, or I actually like to have two medium-sized pillows. So if you're sitting forward, I have my pillows to my right. You're going to bend your knees, feet on the floor, slowly roll onto the right side of your body. You can have your right arm, I like to have my right arm in between the pillows so that I'm not putting too much weight on the shoulder, right ear on your mat. You're also welcome to have a pillow in between your knees so that your hips are a little bit more square. And from here, you can have your left hand on the pillow or the floor beside you, or if you'd like a shoulder opener, you can take your left arm long overhead. Good. And this is just a gentle way to stretch one side of the body and compress one side of the body. If you're a side sleeper, it might feel familiar. Again, these are subtle postures. We'll hold here for 3 minutes, at which point we can continue to stay here, or I will invite us into an optional spine twist. Your mantra for this posture is, I do not need to earn rest. I do not need to earn rest. I do not need to earn rest. Many of us are busy bees and we run around all day. And it can be tempting to think that like we have to earn rest or relaxation or joy or fun. I personally believe that we are like all inherently worthy of rest, of relaxation, of time for joy and play and creativity. And sometimes I hear people even say things like, I worked really hard today so that I really earned this yoga class. And I both love that sentiment and also want to say you earn yoga no matter what, right? You could sit around on the couch all day and still be worthy of a restful, restorative yoga class, right? There's nothing you need to prove. All you have to do is breathe. I do not need to earn rest. See if you can relax just a little deeper in the posture. Letting go of some muscle tension. You have an option to stay here in this side stretch or take, a slightly different shape in the side stretch, maybe with arm overhead or arm not. You're also welcome to join me in a subtle abdomen and spine twist. So if your left arm is overhead, you're going to sweep your left arm down to the left, kind of outside of your shoulder, and press your left hand down. Slightly lift your head and shoulder. And if your right arm is underneath you, you're going to unthread that needle, taking your right arm out to the right, left arm out to the left, almost bending your elbows like goalposts, and start to turn your torso down towards the floor so that your hips stay stacked on top of one another, but your chest and abdomen face the floor. From here, depending on your mobility and body proportions, you can have your forehead on your pillow. If you'd like a full spine twist, you can look away from your knees, so looking to the right with your left ear towards your mat. Or for me, I like to look in the same direction as my knees, and it's a little bit less of an intense stretch on the neck, but for some folks, looking in the opposite direction feels good. For me, it's a little too intense. This is just a very subtle spine twist and abdominal wall twist. Good for back health and also good for digestion. Hold here for 2 more minutes. Again, holding that phrase in your heart. I do not need to earn rest. You can inhale through your nose, feel your ribs expand. And exhale through your nose, feel the backs of your ribs slowly close. If you're looking to one side, you're gently going to look forward. Tuck your hands in under your shoulders. Slowly at a sloth's pace, press yourself up. There's no rush. And take a moment to sit up and make any little movements with your body that feel good. And you can remove the pillows or keep one for under your head or your back. And lie on your back, letting everything reset. Let your head, hands, and feet be heavy as you breathe through your nose. Sometimes when I'm in that posture, I don't feel much, but when I come out of it, I really feel the blood shift as I lie on my back. Part of our yoga practice, of course, stretching, of course, relaxing, but it's also just observing, becoming a little bit more aware of our body. In the asanas, in the savasanas, the reset postures. And as we become more aware, it can be tempting to judge, ooh, my hip is tight, or ooh, this side is harder than the other side. And through yoga, we're learning to, be a little bit more self-aware and observe more, but we're also learning to be a lot less judgmental and compassionate. So those things can exist at once, right? Also being more aware and also being less judgmental, more compassionate. Bend your knees if they're not already. You can roll off to one side, maybe a side that you haven't rolled off to yet if you remember. Take your time pressing yourself up. We will do the other side of that side body stretch spine twist variation. Keep in mind that we're not symmetrical, right? So this side might necessitate a different shape or different pillows and props, and that's okay too. All right, so sitting with pillows to your left this time, you're going to bend your knees, feet towards the floor, slowly roll onto your left hip, and you can have a pillow for in between your knees. Coming onto your left side this time with your left arm facing forward. You can have your right arm overhead or close to your body. So on the other side, I had my arm overhead, but on this side, it's a little too much for my shoulder. So I'm going to have my right hand down by my side instead. I'm just stretching the right side body, gently compressing the left side body. Again, stacking the hips. If your arm is underneath you, right, you have the pillows, but it's still a very gentle stretch to the shoulder and deltoid. You have your top arm above you. It's also a little bit of a bigger stretch to the right shoulder and chest. Holding here for 3 minutes. I am grateful for all that my body does for me. I am grateful for all that my body does for me. I am grateful for all that my body does for me. Sometimes I'm not grateful for my body. I don't like the way it looks, or I don't like the way it's behaving. I wish I could run faster or have a different range of motion in a certain part of my body. And it's important to remember that, as much as we can be frustrated by, our body, gosh, they got us to this point. And actually, at the end of the day, what our bodies do for us, not just keeping us alive, but like moving us through time and space, right? The way that noticing our body move with the breath helps us to reconnect and slow down. There's actually an awful lot to be grateful for. And sometimes I forget to express that gratitude towards my body. This is just a nice opportunity to remind yourself, I'm grateful for all that my body does for me. Option to stay here in this side body stretch, or you can slowly place your right hand outside of right shoulder, push the hand down. Gently lift your head off the pillow. If your left arm is underneath you, unthread that needle, taking your left arm out to the left. Keep your hips stacked and start to turn your torso and abdomen down towards your floor. And again, you can have your forehead on your pillow. You can look away from your knees, or you can look in the same direction as your knees, remembering that this side might necessitate a different shape, and that's okay. Holding here for 2 minutes. I'm grateful for all that my body does for me. A slow inhale, feeling your lungs slowly inflate. And then intentionally slow exhale, feeling your lungs slowly deflate. Gently lift your head to look forward. Slowly walk your hands in under your body. Take your time pressing yourself up. There's no rush. You can make any sort of counter moves that feel good to your body. A little moment of freestyle here. And then remove the pillows, turn, lie on your back. Savasana. Once again, just let the floor hold you up. Breathe through your nose. Bend your knees and roll off to one side. Make your way back into a seated position. for a very gentle version of a forward fold. So you're going to sit with your legs long in front of you. There's some forward folds, right, where we would come down. We might even like grab our feet and try to push, push, push. This is a little more subtle. You're going to put as many blankets and pillows as you would like in between your chest and your thighs. And you're gently going to fold forward. If you'd like, you can kind of remove your butt out from underneath you, or even place a small pillow or blanket underneath your butt if that helps you to feel more situated. You are welcome to let your head hang heavy so that the spine rounds. You can also really wedge the pillows in between your chest and abdomen and fold forward with a more flat back. And this is a good option for folks that have like a history of slip discs, or letting your spine round just feels like too much pressure on your lower back or your neck, right? So you can keep the neck spine long and the whole spine relatively flat, or you can just let your head hang heavy and even maybe add an extra pillow for underneath your head. We're going to hold here for 3 minutes. Just a very subtle stretch to the hamstrings, calf, and spine. I am present in this breath. I am present in this breath. I am present in this breath. Thich Nhat Hanh talks about, sometimes in the morning we're washing dishes, and when we're washing dishes, we're thinking about how we're going to drink coffee in a moment. And then when we're drinking coffee, then we're thinking about, how we're going to commute to work, or what we're going to wear. And then when we're commuting to work, then we're thinking about what comes in work. And then when we're at work, we're thinking about what comes after work. And then when we get home, we're thinking about the next day. And instead, he invites us to the idea of, even if you're doing something like washing the dishes or commuting to work, even if it's something that you don't particularly love or just feels like a chore, we can still be present in that moment and actually feel a lot more relaxation. So rather than thinking about, what comes after this yoga posture or what comes after class, this is an invitation just to remind yourself, I am present in this breath. Take an inhale, feeling your body present. And then exhale, connecting mind to the body through the breath. Gently look forward, lift your chin and chest, and slowly lift yourself up, sitting up nice and tall. We're going to go directly into our next posture, which is a hip opener. So you can stay seated, and you're going to place pillows on either sides of your knees. From here, you will bend your knees so that your feet are on the floor. And you're gently going to open the knees so that the knees fall onto the pillows with the soles of your feet touching. So this is sometimes called supine butterfly. From here, you're going to lie on your back. And if you need to add pillows, there's even more pillows underneath your knees, you're welcome to. Depending on, your mobility, right? Maybe you could remove the pillows and have your knees on the floor. But this is not about getting the deepest hip opener of all time. It's really about using these pillows to just have a subtle hip opener. And sometimes when we have a little bit of extra support, our hips can actually relax even more than if we're, just letting them fall open. From here, you are welcome to have your arms down by your side. You can also have them out to the side in a big expansive gesture, or even bend your elbows, cactusing them like goalposts. And if you'd like, again, to, place a blanket over your body or maybe a little pillow under your head and lower back, you're welcome to do so. Remembering that this is your time, this is your yoga practice, make it your own. We're going to hold here for 5 more minutes. I am open to joy and sorrow in my yoga practice. I am open to joy and sorrow in my yoga practice. I am open to joy and sorrow in my yoga practice. It is very common to leave a yoga class feeling better than when you came in, right? Because we're setting the day aside, we're taking some time for ourselves just to breathe and to move. However, yoga is not always rainbows and butterflies. And in fact, yoga is a really safe space where you can come into the world, into your body, holding both joys and sorrows, worries and cares, right? Triumphs and losses, and hold space for all of those things at once. At my yoga teacher training, they used to say all the time, like, leave your issues in your tissues, right? It was okay to cry in a yoga class. It doesn't have to be all like happy-go-lucky all the time. And sometimes we forget that again, because it's common to feel good after a yoga practice. That's part of why I do it. I'm always happy when I leave a class. But as a reminder, you are welcome to feel it all during this time. And if you ever have the need to like cry or laugh or smile or frown, these are all okay things, right? This is a place and a space that you have created for yourself where it is safe to feel and really process and move through the whole spectrum of human emotions, right? Which is very much part of what makes us human. I am open to joy and sorrow in my yoga practice. You can inhale through your nose, holding in your heart all of the, emotions and feelings that are part of our very human experience. And exhale, letting go of anything that no longer serves you or feels a little heavy in this moment. And place your hands outside of your thighs and slowly bring your knees back together, feet on the floor. And kick your pillows to the side or remove them in any other way that feels good to you. You can even windshield wiper your legs, maybe moving them right and left. Then you can keep the knees bent or lower the legs down for Savasana. Bend your knees and roll off to one side. Slowly press yourself up for our last posture of the day, which is a back bend, a supported back bend. So you're going to sit and then place some pillows behind you so you're facing away from the pillows. The general idea here is you'll want 1 or 2 big pillows for under your lower middle back and then 1 or 2 smaller pillows for underneath your head so that your head is not hanging all the way off, right? You want support for the neck, spine, and head. And it can take a little bit of time to find your ideal pillow ratio. From here, you're going to start to bend your knees, feet on the floor, lie down. Again, making sure that the head is supported. You can feel this heart opener here. You can have your arms out to the side, down by your side, maybe hands on your chest. You are welcome to keep your knees bent with your feet resting together. You can also have your legs long on the floor. Scoot back a little bit more. Great. Okay. And once you've found the right pillow ratio, you're also, of course, welcome to place a blanket over your body. We'll hold here for 5 minutes. So there's, many different types of back bends throughout yoga. Some are standing, some are balancing, some are kneeling or sitting. And I, love all the different types of back bends in yoga. But this one in particular is really wonderful because we don't have to worry about falling over, twisting out, right? We're on the floor, the pillows are beneath you, right? The floor is beneath you. So you don't really have to, keep your eyes open or be, super aware of where you are in time and space, right? You can close your eyes. Especially, we tend to hunch forward during the day. These back bends, especially a subtle back bend like this, it's a wonderful way to heal the spine through gentle compression and release tension from the front of the body through extension. A little bit goes a long way. I am exactly where I am supposed to be. I am exactly where I am supposed to be. I am exactly where I am supposed to be. I often spend the first 5 minutes of my yoga practice thinking about other places that I could have been instead of here. Even when I know that yoga is going to feel really good and I'm excited about it, I still often start by thinking about
other choices that I could have made in my life. And especially like in our country, we have so many choices all the time. A common anecdote that I hear from folks that live abroad is like, you come back to the United States and you realize, oh my gosh, there's 30 different choices for toothpaste. And on the one hand, isn't it like beautiful that we can all have all these different individualized needs for things like toothpaste? And on the other hand, we kind of don't realize how many choices our brain is making at any given day. And it can be very tempting to consider that we've made the wrong choice or that there could be a better choice out there for us. Glennon Doyle on her podcast, We Can Do Hard Things, recently said something to the effect of the only choices without pain are the imagined ones, which is to say, sometimes we make a choice in our life and then we can imagine, oh, if only I'd done this, life would be better. But that's because it doesn't actually happen, right? Every choice that we make in our life comes with both joy and sorrow, comes with the ability to be present in this moment, right? All the things that we've read throughout class. So this is an invitation in this posture just to really dig into the fact that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. This choice wasn't necessarily right or wrong. It's just the one that you made. And you are exactly where you are supposed to be in this moment and in this breath. What a relief. I am exactly where I am supposed to be. And inhale, feel your body rise. And exhale, give your body permission just to relax a little deeper. There are many ways to come out of this posture. You could, of course, elbow yourself up or roll yourself off. I will share my favorite method. Bend your knees so that your feet are on the floor. Keep the pillows underneath your head. Press your feet into the floor, squeeze your butt, lift your hips, and remove the pillow or pillows from underneath your lower and middle back. And then from here, you can lift your head and remove one or all pillows from underneath your head. This is our final Savasana. You are once again welcome to grab a blanket to put over your body. You can put a pillow under your head, your lower back, your knees. Take a moment to get nice and comfy. You can close your eyes, open your arms and legs as little or as much as you'd like. Once again, just return to the breath. Inhale. And slowly exhale. It can be through the nose or the mouth. Let's do that again. Breathe in. And breathe out a little bit slower. Inhale. Exhale. And all is coming. And stay in your final Savasana for as long as you'd like. You can even take a little nap. When you do decide to shift gears, I encourage you to get up slowly and mindfully. Sit up for a while before you stand up, in particular if you have low blood pressure, because we have been on the floor for a while. Make sure that you're drinking lots of water throughout your evening. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday, and I hope to practice with you again soon. Bye, friends.